Hey guys, today we're going to have two focuses, foci. One on installing a fuel tank desiccant vent filter. Very important, especially if you're down in the tropics. And the second thing we're going to discuss is how to flush your engine's intercooler to remove scaling material that builds up over time, and why that's important also. So welcome to the Blown Away channel station, and stay tuned for some real valuable information for you. And by the way, if you love information that's helpful for your cruising life, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave some comments down below and share these with other cruisers. And we really appreciate having you guys come along with us. If you'd like to join our ever-growing Patreon group, click on the description link below and you can find out about how to join our Patreon group and have even yet a closer relationship with Eileen, the Admiral, and myself. Thanks again, guys. Okay, what Nigel Calder talks about in his book is ways to prevent water into the fuel tank. And we're going to talk about the various ways to do this. Yeah, if you don't get the water in there, you're not going to have a problem. But he also touches on the most important thing, and that's being able to access the bottom of the fuel tank. Remember, water sinks because it's heavier. Try lifting a 5-pound jerry can of water versus diesel. You'll know how heavy water is. So it sinks to the bottom. And what you need to do is you need to check and see if your boat's fuel tank has a drain at the bottom. Hopefully that's designed in there. Luckily, the Leopard 44s have just this type of thing. So we're going to I'm going to show you how we drain the bottom of our tank. I don't know if I have anything down there right now. We're going to find out. And I'm going to show you how we do it on the Leopard 44. Let's take a look. First thing we're going to do is take out this bolt, which is an extra safety precaution. And then we're going to drain this and see what we have. This is from our problem fuel tank. This is our port tank. Looking at this, the bottom, you can see some of the material that's down in there. It's degraded fuel particles, but there is no water. Really good to get a clean bill of health on this, but you don't know until you check. And you really need to do this twice a year. I feel so good about this. We're just gonna take this and we're just gonna pour this back into the tank. There's some of the degraded fuel particles that are down in there from the return. Okay, next we're gonna check the good side, which is the starboard side, and we really don't have a fuel problem to speak of. And we're gonna check the ray core right down here. We're gonna drain from the bottom. This is really important that this is done because the water will be at the bottom, any type of impurity. And we'll be able to see it on this white yogurt container. I recommend having one of these. Notice I've cleaned the bottom of the degraded fuel particles off, so we got a fresh, clean slate. Go ahead and let a good little sample come out, so you'll have, you know, the bottom's really cleaned out. And also, I wanted to point out this pressure valve right here. Now what's going to happen is if there's added pressure due to the top part of this has an actual filter in it that's a backup to this, and if it's getting clogged, there's a yellow disc that's going to come down to this red area, so you'll know ahead of time without even checking if you've got a contamination problem. All right, and look at this. Wow, you can see that this fuel is lighter and there are no specks, very few specks. There's no water in there too, so that's awesome. The port tank is darker because of a fuel treatment that I've put in there that has scrubbed the biofilm off all of the hoses in the tank and actually has turned them into solution into the diesel to make it darker, which means it's working. I ordered these on Amazon. This company makes commercial units. This is what Nigel Cardle recommends. They're not expensive. They have a 70-gallon fuel tank version and a 200-gallon fuel tank. Of course, we have a Catamaran, so we need 2 of them. And just to be on the safe side, I got a 200-gallon one, and it's not that much more expensive, but it's bigger on the inside, and it comes with everything you need. So there's 2 hose clamps. You're going to need those. We pull this out, and yeah, this thing is really heavy duty. It's the ADV3, and it even has caps at the top to keep stuff from getting in there. And you only want to use this on a 5/8 hose. So you need to check and find out where your breather or your vent hose is, because you don't want to cut the wrong one. Once a year, whenever you do your oil change in your engines, you also need to get the desiccant out. You can put it in your oven and dry it out at a low temperature. One of the big reasons why I'm doing this is because we are unable in Colombia to keep filling up and topping off our diesel fuel tanks. So if there's no air going in and out of it because they're full, you're not going to get a whole lot of breathing. But the problem down here is that they use B10, which is 10% biodiesel, and biodiesel has different specs from petrodiesel, and it's great if you're in a boat and you're filling up often, or a truck, and it's not just sitting there. But in a sailboat, it sits for long periods of time because we use as little as possible. We don't even run our generator. And the diesel's like milk in the refrigerator, fresh milk. It's going to go bad after about 3 months. It's going to clump up. It also attracts a ton of water. It's hydroscopic, and even more so than petrodiesel. So we have almost half empty fuel tanks. We're going to leave them that way so that we can refill when we're in Panama with the regular diesel, because I don't want to have problems like 6 months from now when we're in French Polynesia or on the way, and then we've got to drain our tanks, and you know, forget that. So we're being proactive here, and putting this on right now will enable our tanks, us to keep our tanks at partial fill. And when the air is going in and out through the breather, it's going to be filtered out from the desiccant that's inside of here. It's really a problem solver here, so that we don't have to top off with biodiesel, because we may go through 2 entire tanks. It may take us 1.5 years to go through those, and in the meantime, it's just the stuff's just sitting there festering in your tank, causing problems. Got the Allen wrench that we're going to use on top of these. Highly recommend this, so you don't have to have like a flathead slipping on and off of these when you're tightening and loosening them. This is a great tool to have. And then highly recommend having a hose cutter, because it's really important that you get a clean, even cut on this. You got to do it right the first time. And we have chosen this spot right here to attach it to. You need to make the cut. So here's the spot right here. All right, we got it cut. You want to put your hose clamps on there before you put this on there. So one of them's on the bottom and one of them is on the top. So up straight, and you want to give it a good German tighten, and that's guten tight. All right, so that's on there. Oh man, so far so good. Could this be like an easy project where something doesn't go wrong?
One thing you need to make sure of is that it doesn't, that hose clamp doesn't chafe this hose.
Oh right, yeah, I got you. Ruben is a certified
No, I lost it here in the engine room.
crazy, no, diesel mechanic, excuse me. We are working on this barnacle buster flush mechanism so that we can clean the heat exchanger as well as air conditioning. So what he's taking off right now is the
hose.
input hose to the raw water impeller.
The output.
Oh, the output.
Yes, because the input has the impeller.
Right. So this is going to clean the impeller too. Well,
No.
Okay.
That's after the pump.
Okay. What we've done down here, or what he's done, is he's taken the anti-siphon loop and we've connected a connector there. That's going to be where the water's coming out. And then the water's going to be coming in down here where the raw water filter is. So he's come all the way down here to the impeller and he's attached this unit to the hose that goes into the impeller. And so basically we're going to put the barnacle buster in there, and this motor, this 12 volt pump motor, is going to circulate the barnacle buster through the raw water heat exchanger and clean it out. And we're going to do something very similar to the AC system. And the great thing about this is it's a very non-invasive way to get in there and clean it out without having to take the whole thing apart. And it basically, the barnacle buster comes in contact where the regular raw water would be, and so therefore it just cleans all the right amount of parts. We're testing it with water, and there's no leaks. So it's like it's got long hoses on there. So what we're going to do, the barnacle buster concentrate is 1 part concentrate to 4 parts water. So we're just going to dump it in that bucket. It's as easy as that. So the master has got this hooked up, being Reuben, and it's running. It's supposed to run for a whole hour, and you can see the water is getting more opaque. Started out clear, which just means it's working. So it's been an hour, and Reuben's unhooking the hose that exits out of the and the
Hold it up.
Yep, we got it. He's going to reattach the hose that leads to the raw water impeller, and then we're going to open up the valve and then eventually reattach the anti-siphon loop. Cute.
We're done.